What's up, everybody? I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you all have been taking care of yourself this past week. Whatever that may look like for you, I hope that you have been eating well, drinking your water, getting y'all steps in, whatever else that you do to take care of yourself. I hope that you've been doing that. Um, I wanted to do my weekly video. So, today I want to talk about something that is near and dear to me, um, as with all my other topics. And this one, I'm going to call this one Getting Around the Commotion of Your Past. This one is near and dear to me because I grew up in a small town and I was born and raised there. Um, I was raised in the church, and so the community that I come from was really small and it was tight knit. Everybody knew most of the families that lived where I'm from. They knew each other, and there was some sort of connection one way or another through church or people went to school together, parents went to school together, or we went to church together, or whatnot. And one of the things that I noticed coming from that environment is that if you do something wrong, if you make a mistake, your business is all up and through the town. And so there's a lot of commotion, there's a lot of chatter and gossip and different other things that happen. And depending on the mistake that you made, it could put a gray, I ain't gonna say black cloud, but maybe a gray cloud over you and your character and personality. I'm sorry, my camera's shaking. Let me get this together here. And so sometimes in living in small towns or coming from small towns, that could create a barrier to try to overcome that. And I was one of those ones. I am not going to go into great detail, but I made some choices. I made some decisions that weren't the best. I did some things, and I take full accountability for all of those things that I did. However, I am also human, and I had to learn that along my journey that I was going to make mistakes. As humans, we're going to make mistakes. So, what happens when you try to turn around and do the turnaround and get beyond all of that commotion, all of the chatter? Because sometimes also it could be self chatter and self commotion just from the talk or the different things that people are saying about you that could have an impact, or not being able to move forward because you've been quote unquote blacklisted by certain ones in the community or whatnot. So how do you move forward past that? And it can be tough. It can definitely be tough to move beyond that. But I have a few things that I want to share to try to help you if you are in a similar situation that I was in. And I'm going to be reading off of the paper. So again, I apologize in advance for my eyes going back and forth. The first one I said is to make a commitment to yourself to move beyond your past and grow forward, and give yourself permission to do that. Again, as I said, we are all humans, so we are going to make mistakes in this life. It is inevitable. Nobody has been on this earth where they're at and been them before. They haven't been them. They haven't been in this day. Like I am today years old, and I have never seen today. I have never seen Tuesday, July, I believe this 29th of 2025. So I don't know what's today is going to bring. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know what today was going to bring. But what I do know is that I could bring my best self. and try to do the best that I can to promote my own growth and self-development. So that is what I would say. Make a commitment to yourself. That's the first step to move beyond the chatter, and that's even the chatter that's within you, and the self, sometimes we have self-doubt from thinking that we can't do it based on what is being said or whatever. But trust and believe you can grow beyond that. Number two is position and discipline yourself in such a way that you are not easily provoked to go back to people, place, and things that were keeping you stagnated in the first place. Um, and this can be complicated. This can be challenging, because we love those people. We love those things. We feel like they have become a part of our lives, but sometimes they are not beneficial. So you have to get yourself to a place where you are disciplined enough not to have a desire to want to go back to that, because going back to that will turn you into a pillar of salt. Okay, if you go back from what you know is not healthy for you, or helping you to grow in those areas of your life that you know you need to grow and change in, is you will turn into a pillar of salt. Let's just say that. And it will be worse to try to dig yourself out of that again. Number three is let them go. Bye. Sometimes you have to say goodbye to those people that you love, and sometimes it may be for a season, and sometimes it may be forever. And you have to come to terms with that. It's not that they are bad people. It's not that it's so much them or anything like that. It's just that sometimes they're your season, the season of life that you're in, and where you're trying to go, you cannot go with those people. They're just not meant to go with you. And sometimes you outgrow people. So you have to be okay with letting them go, no matter how much you love them, no matter how much you care about them, or how loyal you think you are to them. Sometimes you have to just let them go. Number four is create clear and concise boundaries for yourself and for those around you that align with where you are growing to. We all know about them boundaries, and you have to create boundaries, not just for other people, but for yourself. That, again, that goes back to positioning yourself and disciplining yourself, so that you are not going back to anything that has caused you to be in a stagnated place. It could be just creating those boundaries where I want to say, boundaries that you didn't have before, that where anything would go. Sometimes you have to just create boundaries and stick to them. Especially if you're trying to grow, you're going to need those. And you have to communicate your boundaries that you have for other people. Make sure that you have communicated them, your boundaries, to those people. Number five is realize that you cannot force people to accept you for who you are today. However, you don't have to accept someone holding you hostage to anything you have overcome or grew beyond. I would say yes, this one is huge, because sometimes when we grow, we expect people to just accept us for who we are today. And you cannot force that on people. If they don't accept you for who you've grown into, I mean, sometimes you just got to chuck them the deuces and say, this is who I am today. I have grown beyond that. And I don't want to be held hostage to my past, because that is my past. I've moved beyond that. I've moved from that, because some of those things can be very triggering and very re-traumatizing, and places that you don't want to go to. They could have been very hurtful and painful times. Like, for instance, with me, there's some very hurtful and painful times that for certain places and people and things, I could not go, I cannot and will not go around them, because I don't want to keep reliving that. Who wants to keep reliving hurt and pain? So there's that. Number 6 is, your mistakes do not define who you are. Give yourself grace and understand that we are all humans and we will all make mistakes in different ways. Understand that your life's journey is not their life's journey, and if other people can't understand that their life's journey is not your life's journey, vice versa, if people can't understand that, then maybe you need to give space. I ain't saying just to be cutting everybody off. I'm not saying that, but sometimes you just need space from people and just breathing room. Give yourself a little breathing room from people who fail to understand or want to continue to try to make you feel bad for your mistakes. Number 7, and I love this phrase. I saw this on somebody's tattoo on social media, and my sister would often say this: let them. Because sometimes you just gotta let people talk and be who they are going to be. The truth always prevails. Keep walking in it. That is one of the things that I had to learn, because the mistakes and choices that I made in my life, they were pretty intense to say the least. However, there were people that were just determined. They were trying to destroy my reputation. They were trying to talk about things. They were just really trying to drag my name through the mud. And one of the things that I had to come to terms with is, instead of always fighting back with my mouth and my words, I fought back with my actions. I fought back and I kept walking. I kept walking in the truth, because I knew that the truth outshines a lie on any given day. So if people are going to lie and tell stories, sometimes you just got to let them, and just keep walking in your truth, keep building you up. And that is going to outshine, for those that want to see the truth, that's going to outshine the truth any given day. For those that don't, they weren't meant to see your truth in the first place. So just keep walking in the truth. And number 8, and last but certainly not least, stay prayerful, trust God, and never give up on you. So those are the things. Like, I had to stay prayerful. And ultimately, like, I chose to move, even change environments, and moving from not just my home, but moving states. Like, I moved out of the state that I lived in. And sometimes you may have to do that just for your own personal growth, and to help yourself position yourself in a way where you could be successful in your life and grow beyond all of the commotion. I hope that this has helped and will help someone along their journey. And I hope and pray that you will continue to be the best versions of yourself that God created you to be, and that you continue to take care of yourself. Peace.